Let me give you these two quickly before we jump onto the phones. First, when was the first time you saw porn? And then, do porn stars enjoy consuming porn? I know you're speaking just for yourself, but I'd love to hear your
Again,
answer.
just for me. But so if we're talking about porn, like going back to the ancient days when I was a kid, we had magazines. Like the first thing I ever saw was my friend's dad was like a biker dude, and he had Easy Rider magazine. And we found it, we found the copy, and we just sneak in the room and look at all the titties, and we were like, oh, like I think it was more just like we knew it was wrong.
Sure. Yeah, I get that.
And so it felt so exciting. And then the first time I saw a video is really hard to say. I think the first time I really remember it was like we had family friends that we would visit, and the young man was my age. I think we were the same age. And so we were like 12 maybe ish, maybe I feel like 12. And he and his friend had gone. So I grew up in the desert, and there's this cliche of the box of porn you find out in the desert.
No, I almost said something about it.
Yeah.
Woods porn was definitely a part of my upbringing. It's
Yes.
such a bizarre meme, such a weird
Yes.
experience that I think so many people from a specific generation had, but
Yes.
that nobody ever talked about because nobody ever thought to ask their friends about it.
Yeah. So for us, it was a box of porn in the desert. For other people, it could be in the woods. But there was a box of porn somebody found, and VHS tapes and magazines and things like that would be in the old box of porn. And so they were like, we found this box of porn, and we're gonna wait till our parents go to sleep, mom goes to sleep. And they had a TV with a VCR in the bedroom, and there's a bunk bed. And just imagine like me being a young girl and them being young boys, and they put that video on. And oh god, it was so fucking awkward. Because like I knew I could feel, we're raging with these hormones that we don't understand. And I swear to God, you could feel it like in the room, like thinking back on it, like you probably cut it with a knife, the awkwardness. But um, it was like I didn't even like this guy really, but he was like a friend I'd kind of grown up with, but also he was there and I was there. And I just remember feeling like maybe we want to touch each other, but ultimately like we didn't,
Yeah.
which is good. I'm glad we didn't. But yeah, it was just like pretty standard, boy girl stuff. The dude kept his white socks on the whole time. I remember them saying, the hair was big, and I remember them saying something about, uh, gosh, he can't even get his dick all the way hard or whatever. And I was like, that's not okay. Like I don't even know what's happening here. So
Jot that down. Jot that down.
mental note. So that was those were sort of like my early introductions to porn. And I never, we didn't have like we did not watch videos on the internet. I think this was around the time like I didn't even have the internet when I found those VHS tapes. And then it was maybe like a year or two later we got 14K modem, AOL online. And my introduction there was really just like sex chatting. Like I was chatting with adults, because I was curious and smart and horny kid. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's just
relate.
reality, man. This is
AOL Instant
um,
Messenger, some good stuff.
yeah. So that's why for me it was more like almost that mental thing. It was like the written word rather than video.
Mhm.
And so all of that in mind, like I don't think I never really watched porn until my senior year. I had a friend who was like, I can get you some. And I was like, oh, okay. And he brings a paper bag to school with a VHS tape in it. And I watch it in my room. And I pretty much just watched the lesbian stuff, and very inspirational. Uh, so that was sort of all my little like introduction to porn.
Really
But
turned your life around.
yeah, but before I even got my hands on that, I already was talking about being a porn star. I knew I wanted performance in my life. I wanted to do that with my life, and I also knew that I felt very sexual at least at that time. And Yeah, like I already knew I wanted to do it before I even really watched porn. And so, but to answer the question now about do I watch porn? That's a big no. And there's lots of reasons why. I think that there's nothing really that I find sexy or interesting anymore about porn. Um, if I've tried before, but I am so critical of it at this point because I've made it for
Sure.
so long that I can tell right away like they're not into each other. And also then it's like I know that guy, I know that girl, like we're friends, and I just in like
Hard to get into it when you're, like, judging it and evaluating it, and you can't help but see where the seams are.
yes, and it's the same thing too, like, as a massage therapist, when I receive a massage, it's very hard to turn that off and just
Mm.
enjoy it. I'm kinda like, "Oh, what are they doing now? Oh, what's that spot? What technique are they using?" Or like, "Oh, I wish they would just go a little deeper," or, "Why aren't they doing this?" Or blah, blah, blah. So, I feel like it's any job that you do, it can be hard to enjoy it, like, as a customer or whatever.
Yeah, no, any therapist that works with therapists, that offers
Yeah.
therapy to therapists,
Mhm.
will tell you about how challenging that can be to just sort of like shut up, stop trying to manage it or understand it, and just enjoy it. That can be a pretty difficult mind flip.
Oh my gosh, so much. And so I'm just, yeah, too hypercritical. So when I do see something where it's like, even if I know the two people, but if I can tell they're really fucking into each other, then I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But then I'm still not like, oh, I'm jerking off to it. I'm like, what a piece of
You're
cinema
like
this is."
celebrating it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.